Hello! Thank you for watching, commenting, and sharing our videos. Today in our family law video, we are going to talk about something that is a little confusing, Rule Nisi, and how it applies to your divorce in Georgia. I'm Raluca Hanea, and I'm an attorney who provides legal services in family law, immigration, and estate planning. Nina Clear, my marketing and office manager, is here with me. And let's see what the questions are for today.
Okay, so we'll do some preliminary questions first. As an attorney, you have to complete quite a few years of schooling, right?
Yes. I went to law school in Romania, which is 4 years. And then I had to get my law degree here in the United States, which is 3 years after your bachelor's degree.
You're not, in fact, because I have a law degree as well, I often tell people that it's more credits than a PhD here in the U.S. So with that, you learn both about the law and then how to apply the law, right?
Yes. You study both statutes and case law and learn how to apply them to the facts of each case that you have to achieve the results for your clients.
Okay. And did you learn Latin at any time in your life?
Yes. Romanian is actually a Latin-based language.
1 to 5 only, like right? Isn't that what you always tell me? It's
yes.
Like, yes. Okay.
Yes. And I did study also Latin language in the 8th grade and during law school.
And I studied it as well because I was raised Roman Catholic and you study Latin. My dad learned it his whole life and I had to learn it in elementary school. So within the law, when we go to law school, we find out there's a large proportion of Latin words that you need to learn, right?
That's right.
And when you read Latin, you would say Rule Nisi.
Exactly.
But the Americans and the British actually pronounce it Rule Nisi.
Nisi.
Right? So
yes.
What does that mean?
Nisi means a decree, order, or rule taking effect or having validity only after certain specific conditions that are met.
Okay, and how does that work with divorce in Georgia?
In Georgia, it basically means a temporary hearing has been scheduled in your case to decide temporary issues.
So can you explain a little bit more about that? Because that's like a huge, broad statement.
Sure. It is a notice you send to the court requesting a hearing. Notice is also sent to the other party telling them that they need to appear in court for this hearing to discuss certain things. And at the hearing, the judge will usually issue temporary orders.
Okay, and because we're trying to speak in broad generalities, that may also still be a little confusing to people.
Yes.
So maybe if you give a couple examples, that will help people understand it better.
Sure. A divorce can take many months or years to process. So before a final order is entered, if the parties cannot agree, they might need a judge to issue temporary orders, such as how much child support or alimony should be paid, about visitation, or even custody.
And can the Rule Nisi, the Rule Nisi be used at any time in the divorce?
It could be, but it's most often used at the beginning when the divorce is filed. However, it can be also used after a divorce if one party hasn't followed the final court order and the other party would like them to be told to do so, or be held in contempt of the court.
And if you're held in contempt, you actually can be jailed, right?
Yes, that's right.
So can either party file a Rule Nisi?
Yes.
And you said that a Rule Nisi typically requires a hearing, is that right?
That's right.
Would you recommend that if you are going to a hearing for a Rule Nisi that you go with an attorney?
Sure. I always think it's a good idea to go to court with an attorney. The judge can tell you what to do if you decide to present yourself to represent yourself, or also known as pro se.
Which is another Latin phrase, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that the Rule Nisi order issued is only temporary, right?
Yes and no. If it is filed at the start of a divorce, the judge will use the information provided by each party to make a temporary decision. But when the divorce is finalized, a final order will be entered. And often, if the temporary order was made for the children due to Georgia courts following the best interests guidance for the children, they may also enter a final order with no change, so as to cause as little disruption to the kids' schedule and lives as possible.
So what I've heard is that you shouldn't agree to something thinking it's only going to be temporary because it might be permanent. It might become permanent.
That's right.
Okay. So, and again, this sounds like, as with most things in law, and you hear us say in our videos, it always depends.
It depends.
Okay. And are there any other things that people should be aware of with the Rule Nisi?
Yes, you must respond, and there is not too much time to do so. So if you haven't retained an attorney, I would recommend doing so as quickly as possible. Also, make sure you attend the hearing. If you don't, the judge can make a ruling without you being present, only with one party being present. Also, keep in mind that this type of hearing may be the first time you appear before the judge. So you usually have the same judge throughout the processing of your divorce. So it's always recommended that you make a good first impression. This can be done by being there, first of all, being on time, being prepared, and being respectful to all the parties and the judge.
And we did a video about legitimation previously. Could a Rule Nisi be used for that process as well?
It could be if the father was requesting temporary orders for visitation or custody, or if a relative was trying to get custody in abuse or neglect cases, they can file for one. So this is all we have for today. Thank you for watching. And tomorrow we will talk about employment authorization and how it can impact your status in immigration law. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.